Yeah, we were just talking, I just put the camera on. It's one thing, like we were just talking about my journey, and this is live for all my undeniable people out there. This is a great man, he's gonna let you know who he is in a minute. But we was just talking about my journey, being 17, not knowing how to read or write, graduating with a diploma that I couldn't read, to now just doing great things, meeting great people, doing college lectures, teaching classes, and doing things I never thought I'd be able to do in life, and just being afraid of school platforms. But this is a doctor. Introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Alvin S. Perry.
And this is one of my friends. I know doctors, lawyers, counsel people, pastors, and one thing about just working on my inner value and working on myself, I was able to know my value and not feel afraid and not feel inferior. A lot of us in the inner cities, we only meet doctors when we laying down because we've been shot. I go speak at prisons. We only go to jails and prisons when we in there. We only go see bishops when we land in a funeral service. So I want you to just speak to young people out there and let them know how do you connect to them. And a lot of people look at doctors or lawyers, or you think you know everything, or police officers, and you might feel afraid. I want them to know just a little bit of background, some of the colleges you do teach at, and just how do we bridge that gap in between you're still a person and whatever make us relatable to sit down and speak, and just kind of bridge that gap and just give them some information.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I have a DBA, I have a Doctor of Business Administration and Entrepreneurship. I teach at William Patterson University. I teach at Essex County College. I've taught at Montclair State and also Pillar College. I think it's important for people like me to be relatable. I think it's important for people like me to not have airs about themselves. I think it's important for people like me to, when I connect with a brother like Dash, that he doesn't really, I don't want you really to see me as a doctor, because that's just a title. That's just some educational level that I actually have attained, but that's really not who I am. That doesn't define who I am. That's just a part of my accomplishments. I make it a point to make people feel comfortable around me and not to feel like, hey, this is Dr. Perry. I really don't even introduce myself as Dr. Perry unless I'm talking to the payroll department. See, because they got to get that money right. But when it's just in general conversation, I'm connecting with people, I don't introduce myself as Dr. Perry, because that's really not important. It's times that I do want to let people know that I am Dr. Perry, because when I was growing up, the only black man that I saw wear a suit was the preacher and the undertaker. So I didn't have a clue of what a professional job looked like for a black man. So that was one of the reasons why I struggled, because I didn't identify with a future me based on something that I wanted to do. My father worked at a chemical plant, so he wore like a brown uniform, and he was working in the yard, sweating all day at the chemical plant. My mother worked at the paper mill, and she wore those work clothes. So both of them had manual labor, blue collar jobs, and I really wasn't interested in doing that. I thought I could do more, but I didn't have a clue of what more meant. So for me, it's important for, especially for the young African American kids, to see me, connect with me, talk with me, have dialogue, just have an interchange with me, because I want them to see themselves in me. I want you to see that I'm just like you. I put my shoes on like you do. I put my shorts on one leg at a time. I'm not superhuman. I don't really think there's a lot special about me. I just think I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I mean, it's others that'll look at me and look at some of the things I've done and look at the accomplishments that I've made, and they'll refer to me as some great person or whatever, but I don't really feel like that. I just feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. In terms of even just doing this interview today, this is stuff that I'm supposed to do. If our young kids don't see people like me and really see us without airs about us, but really see us, really look me in my eyes and look into my soul and really know that you can believe what I'm telling you, if that is not happening, where are they going to see it? For someone like me who's climbed this ladder, I worked in corporate America, I worked for M&M Mars, I worked for Pepsi Cola, I worked for Colgate Palmolive, I worked for Walmart. I made $100,000 salary in corporate America. I've done that. Now I'm doing my thing as an entrepreneur and as a school teacher on a higher education level. But it's important for young people to understand my plight and what I've experienced, my failures along with my successes, because many times you young people see someone like myself and you think it's all gravy, it's all about success, there are no failures. I think your failures are really what define and make you who you are. And I really believe, for example, LeBron James going to play for Miami. I think they would be a different team had they won that very first championship. I think because they lost to Dallas in that very first championship that they played in, it caused him to rethink who he was and how he approached the game, as well as the rest of the team. They transitioned from being a Dwayne Wade team because for whatever reason LeBron was kind of holding himself back, but it kind of, the torch got passed, and they realized in order for us to maximize who we are, we all have to change. We all have to do something different based on the environment that we're in. So just you know, you have to just look at yourself and just be approachable.
And to touch on something, you were speaking about plight, and being a doctor, you probably can give me a little bit more details on why are we so in love with our plight? When you look at content, when you look at fight videos, when you look at negativity, when you look at stories about someone that was successful that's not successful anymore, we feel so relatable to our plight. We love our plight. We're infatuated with it. And then when you see successful people, a certain level of success, you have to be involved with the devil. You have to be evil. How did you get there? Why are we in love with our plight? Is it because we've been marketed for so long? And how do the youth feel like they can possibly be you without it being a smokescreen dream?
Because I think the youth can be a me or anybody that they see if they're willing to understand that I'm going to fail. Your greatest growth does not come from your successes. Your greatest growth comes from your failures. And one thing, I don't know who the quote was, is one thing beats fail is a try. And many times we don't even try. And for example, one of the books that I've written is The Circus Act. And the premise of the book is when baby elephants come to the circus, the way they train them is they tie them down, they strap them down, and they beat them for days, weeks, and months until they have no more will. And when they become full-grown bull elephants, all they do is put a little chain around their leg and they tap a stake in the ground, and that elephant will never try to go beyond that chain, because they remembered some past experiences of when they were tied down and they couldn't be who they thought they might have wanted to be. And now that they're an adult, and because they were told that they couldn't be that, they're not even trying to maximize who they are. So in our culture, because of what we see around us, so much negativity, and we don't believe that we can obtain these particular levels, that's the thing that I think prevents us from even trying to maximize who we are. Because we're not seeing the success that's available to us out there. They're not seeing someone like me who's keeping it real. I'm talking to you, I connect with you, I come in your community. We have to have more people like that so the young people see beyond the block, see beyond the communities that they live in.
So just let them know where they reach you at, let them know what books, anybody that want advice for you, just give them some of your last words and anything else you got coming up.
You can reach me. My website is alvinperry.com, ALVIN, P as in Paul, ERRY, alvinperry.com. My email address is alvin@alvinperry.com. My cell number is 678-634-4752. I answer my calls, I return emails. If you're looking for someone to come out and do workshops or speak around career development or around entrepreneurship, that's my area of expertise. And you know, one thing that I would leave as my quote is keep your feet moving. You're one step away from positive change. Quitting is a choice you do not have to make. Thank you.